I've often spoke to you about poeticism in architecture, and I wanted just to take this opportunity to put down and record just a very basic idea about this. What I want to propose is that we can understand the poetic task in the design process through the two basic poetic concepts of metaphor and metonymy. Now, when we look at this Fred and Ginger building, we get the idea of both a kind of metaphor of two people dancing, and we get a metonymy in the materials used in making the building. Now, just to make this a little bit clearer, I want to use a much simpler example that you might take away in your own design work, and I want to take it from sculpture so that it doesn't sort of contaminate too much what you're doing in the architectural studio. And this is the example of Picasso's famous bull's head. Now, I think when we look at this, we can agree that straight away almost everybody who looks at it sees in this sculpture the head of a bull. So he takes metal and other materials and turns it into something that looks like is a metaphor for the head of a bull. When we look at the Fred and Ginger building, yeah, it looks like two people dancing. It looks like a bull. Part of the poeticism of architecture is in this what it looks like. That, however, is not enough. There is also in this sculpture the level of metonymy. Now, metonymy is when you take a piece of something in order to refer to that thing, as if the ringing of 7 bells were to represent a ship. Here we have a piece of a bicycle. There's something in the materiality that works at the level of metonymy. Now, if we put the metaphor and the metonym together, then we get a poetry, because we can sit back and chuckle at this sculpture in thinking that it was the bicycle that was the greatest gift to human genetics, and that it allowed a man to get on his bicycle, ride to a different village, and find a wife outside of a very small genetic pool. So there is in this bicycle and this bull a kind of reference to a virility, if you like, that is Picasso's poetic joke. So, when you're sitting in the studio scratching your head thinking, well, you know, what is the process of poeticism in architecture, then, you know, what we can take away from this sculpture and from the Fred and Ginger building is this idea that there is in the look of it a level of poetry that is not enough. It has to be combined with the materiality of it, the materials that reference, as it were, that this building comes from some larger, greater language or object. All right, well, this is just meant to be very short encouragement to all those architects who find them in themselves in the studio, having done excellent technical preparation, but are now in the throes of the great enjoyments of architectural composition. So I shall bid you adieu and leave you to that wonderful task.